You know this piece, even if you have never seen the title. It begins with 3 sharp notes, a pause, and then a long fall down the organ keyboard. In films and cartoons, those notes usually mean that somebody owns a castle, a cape, or a laboratory with poor safety standards. This is Toccata and Fugue in D minor, BWV 565, usually attributed to Johann Sebastian Bach. Most people know the opening and assume the rest is several more minutes of Gothic organ music. But the title describes 2 different kinds of music. A toccata is a free, showy keyboard piece. The name comes from the Italian word for to touch. It gives the player room to move quickly between runs, chords, pauses, and sudden changes of direction. It often sounds partly improvised, even when every note has been written down. It is also a good way to demonstrate an organ. You can use the high pipes, the low pipes, the pedals, and the ability to sustain a chord until the building starts contributing its own echo. A fugue is much more organized. It begins with a short musical subject played by one voice. A second voice enters with the same subject. Then a third may join, and perhaps a fourth. Once all the voices are in motion, the composer can break the subject apart, move it into new keys, turn pieces of it into sequences, and bring it back in different combinations. The difficult part is that each line has to work as a melody on its own, while also fitting with all the others. BWV 565 gives us both approaches. The toccata is loose and theatrical. The fugue takes a small idea and works it through a system. So why does the opening sound so enormous? Partly because it is written for an enormous instrument. The first notes are doubled in octaves, which makes one melodic line sound much larger. The pauses let the sound decay into the room. Then the music lands on a diminished-seventh chord, built from evenly spaced minor thirds. Because that chord can lead in several directions, the ear briefly loses its sense of where the music will settle. Then the pedals bring in the bass. None of this requires many notes. It requires the right notes, a large organ, and enough silence around them. The same features can also make the piece sound pretentious. Pop culture has used it so often for grand entrances, sinister discoveries, and people raising their hands toward lightning, that the music now arrives carrying its own scenery. Put it under a vampire opening a coffin and it feels appropriate. Put it under someone opening a hotel breakfast buffet, and the joke is that the music has badly overestimated the occasion. The piece is often dated to around 1704, when Bach was still a young man, although the date is uncertain. No manuscript in Bach's own hand survives. The work was published in the 19th century, long after it was probably composed. Mendelssohn helped bring Bach's organ music back before large audiences. Then cinema took over. Rock musicians soon realized that the same effect worked with amplification. In 1973, Rick Wakeman recorded Jane Seymour for his album The 6 Wives of Henry VIII. The track begins with pipe organ, then brings in drums, harpsichord, and synthesizer. Wakeman is not copying the opening of BWV 565. He is borrowing its musical setting. The same year, Mike Oldfield released Tubular Bells. Oldfield later described its opening as an upside-down version of Bach's Toccata in D minor.
No, but everybody knows that tune, don't they? Everybody knows that tune. Where did that tune come from?
Oh, well, it's Bach's Toccata. It's the upside-down version of that. See?
There you go. We never knew that.
You can hear what he means, although it is not a strict inversion in the music theory sense. The 2 pieces also share a sense of accumulation. A small musical figure starts alone, repeats, and gathers force as more parts appear. By 1994, Bach's organ drama had moved into Eurodance. The real thing uses the familiar shape as a synthesizer hook and places it over a fast electronic beat. The organ has disappeared, but the old function remains. The phrase still announces that something important is beginning. The difference is that the important thing now comes with dancers and a BPM. Then, in 2001, Muse released Plug In Baby. The guitar riff is often compared with Bach, and the resemblance is easy to hear. It sits high on the instrument, moves quickly through a minor key pattern, and repeatedly pulls away from the home note before returning. Plug In Baby became one of Muse's defining songs, and the opening regularly appears in polls and discussions about the best guitar riffs of the 2000s. Bach's piece later turned up in a rather different setting. Eminem, Brainless. Here the beat draws on the fugue section rather than the famous opening toccata. That is a good fit for rap. A fugue works through repetition, variation, and several lines interacting at once. For our version, we did not try to write another toccata. Instead, we borrowed the formal manner of the piece. We wanted music that sounded as though an urgent matter was being placed before a committee of extremely important people. The song was inspired by Benjamin Franklin's A Letter to a Royal Academy, written around 1781. Franklin complains that learned institutions spend their time on impressive questions while overlooking an ordinary source of human discomfort. He presents the whole thing as a serious research proposal. His stated aim is to bring philosophy home to men's business and bosoms. Franklin is not arguing against science. He is making fun of the habit of treating a question as important, mainly because it sounds dignified. Our song is called Let It Ring. Please consider subscribing to hear about future episodes and help us keep the project going. And if you have friends in academia, or friends who have spent years complaining about academia, please send them the episode. Everybody appreciates a good fart joke.
Oh, man of science, grave and bright, you weigh the stars and name the night. You split the beam, you map the skies, yet miss the truth beneath our thighs. Thunder in the room, let musk or lily bless the blast and make restraint.